Hello, and welcome to English Bio Talk. My name is Anna. Have you ever been in a conversation, maybe at work or with a new friend, and you had the perfect idea in your head, the perfect sentence, but when you tried to speak, the words came out jumbled? Or maybe you felt shy, worried that people would judge your accent or your grammar. You knew what you wanted to say, but your confidence just disappeared. If that sounds familiar, I want you to know that you are not alone. This is one of the biggest challenges for English learners all over the world. But what if I told you that speaking English clearly and confidently is not a special talent that only some people have? It is a skill. And like any skill, you can learn it. In this video, I am going to give you a complete guide, step by step, on how to unlock your confident English voice. We're not just going to talk about grammar rules or memorizing vocabulary lists. We're going to go deeper. We will talk about your mindset, the physical way you produce sounds, the music of the English language, and daily habits that will transform the way you speak. This isn't about becoming a different person. It's about becoming the most confident version of yourself in English. So, if you are ready to stop hiding and start speaking with power and clarity, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Point 1. The mindset of a confident speaker. Before we even talk about your mouth or your grammar, we have to talk about what's happening in your mind. Your brain is the control center for everything, including your speech. If your mind is full of fear and doubt, your speech will be hesitant and quiet. If your mind is confident and relaxed, your speech will be clear and strong. Confidence begins in your head long before it comes out of your mouth. The first and most important mental shift you need to make is to reframe your relationship with mistakes. Many of us were taught in school that mistakes are bad. A red mark on a test means you failed. But in language learning, mistakes are not your enemy. They are your best teacher. Every time you make a mistake, you're learning. You are discovering the boundaries of the language. I want you to stop seeing mistakes as failures and start seeing them as proof that you are trying. You are taking risks. You are growing. I remember once I was in a cafe in London and I wanted to ask for a napkin. But I got confused and I asked the barista for a nappy. In British English, a nappy is a diaper for a baby. The barista looked so confused for a moment, and then he started laughing, but in a friendly way. I felt my face turn bright red with embarrassment. But then he politely corrected me, "Oh, you mean a napkin." And we both had a good laugh. In that moment, I could have felt ashamed and decided to never speak English again. But instead, I chose to see it as a funny story. Now, I will never, ever forget the difference between a napkin and a nappy. The mistake was a powerful teacher. So, give yourself permission to be imperfect. Laugh at your mistakes. Learn from them and move on. The next mental block we need to break is translating in your head. When you are a beginner, it's natural to think in your native language and translate word for word into English. But as you become more advanced, this habit will slow you down and make your speech sound unnatural. Languages don't map onto each other perfectly. The sentence structure, the idioms, the way ideas are expressed are often completely different. When you translate directly, you are doing double the work. Your brain is juggling two languages at once, and it causes you to pause, to hesitate, and to use strange phrasing. The goal is to start thinking in English. We will talk about how to practice this later in the video, but for now, the first step is to become aware of it. Notice when you are translating and gently try to build the sentence directly in English instead. Finally, in this section on mindset, you must focus on communication, not perfection. What is the purpose of language? It is to connect with other people, to share ideas, to express feelings. The goal of a conversation is not to use perfect grammar. The goal is to be understood. Think about it. When someone speaks to you in your native language with a foreign accent or a small grammatical error, do you judge them? Or do you just focus on the message they are trying to share? You probably don't even notice the small mistakes. Native English speakers will treat you the same way. They want to understand you, not grade you. So, stop aiming for perfection. Aim for connection. Aim for communication. This takes so much pressure off, and when you are less pressured, you will naturally speak more fluently. Your mind will be relaxed, and the words will flow more easily. So, to summarize our first point, your journey to clear and confident speaking starts with your mindset. Embrace mistakes as teachers. Start to move away from translating in your head and focus on communication over perfection. Get your mind right, and the rest will follow. Point 2. The physicality of clear speech. Okay, now that we have our minds in the right place, let's talk about the physical part of speaking. Speaking is a physical act. It involves your lungs, your throat, your tongue, your jaw, and your lips. If you want to speak English clearly, you need to treat it like a physical skill, almost like a sport or playing a musical instrument. You need to warm up and train the muscles involved. It all starts with your breath. Have you ever noticed that when you get nervous, your breathing becomes shallow and quick? You breathe from your chest. This creates a weak, shaky voice. Confident speakers, actors, and singers all know the secret. They breathe from their diaphragm. This is a large muscle at the base of your lungs. Breathing from your diaphragm gives your voice power, stability, and control. It also calms your nerves. Let's try it right now. Put one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly. Now, take a deep breath. Which hand moved more? If it was your top hand, you are chest breathing. We want the bottom hand to move. Let's try again. Breathe in slowly through your nose and focus on pushing your belly out like you are filling up a balloon. Your chest should stay relatively still. Then, exhale slowly through your mouth as if you are blowing through a straw. Feel your belly come back in. This is called diaphragmatic breathing or belly breathing. Before you have to speak in an important situation, like a meeting or a presentation, take a few of these deep belly breaths. It will calm your nervous system and give your voice a solid foundation. Next, we need to warm up the tools of articulation, your jaw, lips, and tongue. These muscles need to be flexible to create the specific sounds of English. Many English sounds may not exist in your native language, so you are literally asking your muscles to move in new ways. A great way to warm up is with simple stretches. Open your mouth as wide as you can, as if you are yawning, and hold it for a few seconds. Then close it. Do this a few times to release tension in your jaw. Many people hold a lot of stress in their jaw, which makes their speech sound mumbled. Then, for your lips, you can make a big, exaggerated smile, stretching your lips wide. Then, pucker your lips forward like you are going to whistle. Alternate between the smile and the pucker. This wakes up your lip muscles. And of course, we have tongue twisters. They may seem silly, but they're a fantastic workout for your mouth. They force you to move between difficult sounds quickly and precisely. Don't just rush through them. Start slowly and focus on making every single sound as clearly as possible. For example, she sells seashells by the seashore. Notice the S sound and the SH sound. Feel where your tongue is for each one. For the S, the tip of your tongue is near the back of your top teeth. For the SH, your tongue is a bit further back. Another great one is red lorry, yellow lorry. This is excellent for practicing the R and L sounds, which can be tricky. Spend just 2 or 3 minutes a day doing these warm-ups, and you will notice a huge improvement in your clarity and control. You are training your mouth for English. This leads us to pronunciation and enunciation. Pronunciation is about making the correct sound for a letter or word. Enunciation is about speaking those sounds clearly and distinctly. The biggest key to good enunciation is to open your mouth. Many shy speakers talk through clenched teeth and the sound gets trapped. You have to open your mouth and let the sound out. Look at yourself in a mirror and say the vowels, A, E, I, O, U. Exaggerate the movements. You should see your jaw drop and your mouth shape change significantly for each sound. When you speak, make sure you are not mumbling. Articulate every word. This doesn't mean you have to speak slowly, but it does mean you have to speak clearly. By warming up your articulators and consciously opening your mouth when you speak, you make it so much easier for people to understand you, which in turn will boost your confidence. Point 3. Mastering the music of English. If you learn every English word and every grammar rule, but you don't understand the music of the language, you will still sound unnatural and be difficult to understand. This music is called prosody, and it's made up of rhythm, stress, and intonation. Mastering this is the difference between sounding like a robot and sounding like a fluent, natural speaker. First, let's talk about rhythm. English is what we call a stress-timed language. This is a very important concept. It means that the rhythm is based on the stressed syllables in a sentence. The time between stressed syllables is roughly the same, no matter how many unstressed syllables are in between. This is what creates the beat, the rhythm of English. Other languages, like Spanish or French, are syllable-timed, meaning every syllable gets about the same amount of time. In a stress-timed language, we have content words and function words. Content words are the important words that carry the meaning: nouns, cat, house, main verbs, go, eat, adjectives, beautiful, big, and adverbs, quickly, always. These words are usually stressed. We say them longer, louder, and often at a higher pitch. Function words are the smaller, grammatical words that connect the content words: prepositions in, on, at, articles a, in, the pronouns he, she, it, and conjunctions and, but, so. These words are usually unstressed. We say them very quickly, and they are often reduced or squished together. Let's look at an example sentence. He went to the store to buy some milk. The stressed words are went, store, buy, and milk. These are the content words. Listen to the rhythm. Didum, 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 didum. The little words to the end to some are spoken very quickly to keep the beat. A learner who gives equal time to every word would sound like this: he went to the store to buy some milk. It sounds very robotic. To practice this, take a simple text and highlight the content words. Then read it out loud, tapping your finger on the table for every highlighted word. Try to keep a steady beat. This will help you feel the natural rhythm of English. Next is word stress. Within a single word of more than one syllable is always stressed more than the others. This stress is critical. Sometimes, changing the stress can change the meaning of the word. For example, the word present. If I say present with the stress on the first syllable, it's a noun, meaning a gift. I got a lovely present for my birthday. But if I say present with the stress on the second syllable, it's a verb, meaning to give or show something. I have to present my project tomorrow. Learning the correct word stress is just as important as learning the word itself. When you learn a new word, don't just learn its spelling and meaning, learn its pronunciation, including which syllable is stressed. Finally, we have intonation. Intonation is the rise and fall of your voice as you speak. It's the melody of your sentence. Intonation is how we show emotion, ask questions, and indicate when we are finished speaking. For example, for most yes/no questions in English, our voice goes up at the end. Are you coming to the party? The pitch rises on party. For most statements or WH-questions, who, what, where, when, why, our voice goes down at the end. I am coming to the party. The pitch falls on party. Where's the party? The pitch falls on party. This melody gives listeners important clues about your meaning and intentions. If your intonation is flat, you might sound bored or uninterested, even if you are not. To practice this, try the shadowing technique, which we will discuss in more detail soon. Listen to native speakers and try to copy their melody, the ups and downs of their voice. Don't just copy the words, copy the music. Point 4. Building an active vocabulary you can actually use. We all know we need vocabulary to speak a language. But there's a big difference between a passive vocabulary and an active vocabulary. Your passive vocabulary includes all the words you recognize when you read or hear them. It's probably very large. Your active vocabulary, however, includes the words you can actually pull out of your brain and use correctly in a spontaneous conversation. For most learners, this is much, much smaller. Our goal is to move words from your passive storage into your active toolkit. How do we do that? First, you need to stop learning single, isolated words. A list of random words is not very useful. The brain remembers things in context and in connection with each other. This is why you should focus on learning chunks of language. A chunk is a group of words that are commonly used together. For example, instead of just learning the word hand, learn the chunk, give me a hand, which means help me. Instead of learning the word way, learn the chunk by the way, which is used to introduce a new topic. When you learn in chunks, you are learning vocabulary and grammar at the same time. You start to develop a natural feel for what sounds right, Your speech becomes more fluent because you don't have to build every sentence from zero, word by word. You already have these ready-made phrases you can use. So, when you are reading an article or watching a movie, don't just look for new words. Look for new phrases. How do native speakers put their words together? Write down the entire phrase, not just the single word. Examples of chunks include, on the other hand, I see what you mean, sounds like a plan, long time no see, to be honest with you. The next step is to make this new vocabulary active. I call this the speak it to keep it method. Knowing a word or a chunk is not enough. You have to use it. When you learn a new useful phrase, your mission for that day is to use it out loud. You can use it when talking to someone, or you can just use it when talking to yourself. For example, you learn the phrase, it's a piece of cake, meaning it's very easy. Now you have to activate it. You could say to yourself, I thought this math problem would be hard, but it's a piece of cake. Or, I need to make dinner tonight. No problem, it's a piece of cake. By forcing yourself to produce the phrase in a meaningful context, you are building a stronger pathway in your brain. This makes it much more likely that you will be able to remember and use it in a real conversation. To organize all this, I recommend a vocabulary notebook, but with a specific method. Divide your page into 3 columns. In the first column, write the new word or chunk. In the second column, write its meaning, but not in your native language. Try to describe it in simple English or write a synonym. In the third and most important column, write 2 or 3 full sentences using that word or phrase. Make the sentences personal to you and your life. This makes them more memorable. For example, if you learn the chunk to be on the same page, which means to agree or have the same understanding, your sentence could be, before we start the project, let's have a meeting to make sure we are all on the same page. This is so much more effective than a simple list of words and translations. It forces you to engage with the language actively from the very beginning. Point 5. Practical daily habits for fluency. So far, we have covered mindset, physical clarity, the music of English, and how to learn vocabulary. Now, we need to bring it all together with consistent, daily practice. You can't just study for one day and expect to be fluent. You need to build habits that make English a part of your daily life. These habits don't have to take hours. Even 15 to 20 minutes of focused practice every day will make a massive difference. The first habit is to start thinking in English. This is the ultimate solution to the problem of translating in your head. It might sound difficult, but you can start small. Begin by narrating your own life in your head using very simple sentences. When you wake up, think, I am waking up. The sun is shining. I need to get out of bed. I am going to the bathroom to brush my teeth. It sounds simple, but you are creating an English-speaking environment inside your own mind. You are practicing sentence structure and vocabulary with zero pressure. As you get more comfortable, you can move on to more complex thoughts. You can think about your plans for the day, your opinion on a news story, or what you want to say to a friend, all in English. The more you do this, the more natural it will become to form thoughts directly in English. The second habit is one of my absolute favorites, shadowing. Shadowing is an incredibly powerful technique for improving your pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation all at the same time. Here's how it works. You find a short audio clip of a native speaker. It could be from a podcast, an audiobook, or a TED Talk. The speaker should be clear and have a standard accent. First, you listen to a sentence. Then you play it again and you speak at the exact same time as the speaker, like a shadow. Your goal is not just to say the words, but to copy everything: the speed, the pauses, the melody, the stress. You are trying to sound exactly like the speaker. It will feel strange at first, and you might not get all the words right. That's okay. The point is to train your mouth and your ear to the patterns of native English speech. Do this for just 5 to 10 minutes a day, and the music of English will start to become a natural part of your own speaking. The third habit is to record yourself. I know, nobody likes the sound of their own voice, but this is one of the most effective tools for self-improvement. You can't fix a problem if you don't know it exists. Use the voice memo app on your phone. Choose a topic, talk about your day, summarize a movie you watched, or read a paragraph from a book. Speak for 1 or 2 minutes. Then, listen back to the recording. As you listen, be a detective. Listen for your pronunciation. Are there any sounds you are struggling with? Listen for your rhythm and stress. Are you stressing the content words? Listen for your intonation. Does your voice go up and down naturally? Listen for filler words like or The first few times you do this, it might be a little painful, but you will learn so much about your own speaking habits. Then you can focus your practice on improving those specific areas. These habits, thinking in English, shadowing, and recording yourself, are things you can do by yourself for free every single day. They create a cycle of practice and feedback that will accelerate your progress and build true, lasting confidence in your speaking ability. Point 6. Putting it all together in the real-world theory is great, but the ultimate goal is to use your English in the real world with real people. This is often the scariest part, but it's also where the real magic happens. So how do we take all these skills and apply them in real-life situations? The key is to start small and build momentum. Don't make your first real-world challenge a 30-minute presentation to your company's CEO. That's too much pressure. Start with low-stakes situations. These are short interactions where the outcome doesn't really matter, and you will probably never see the person again. For example, go to a coffee shop and order your drink in English. Ask a stranger for directions. Go to a store and ask a salesperson where to find something. These are perfect practice opportunities. They are short, predictable, and even if you make a mistake, who cares? You got your coffee, you found your way, and you proved to yourself that you can communicate in English. Each of these small interactions is a small victory, and these small victories build up to create big confidence. As you get more comfortable, you can prepare for more specific, higher-stakes situations. For example, if you have a job interview coming up, don't just walk in and hope for the best. Prepare. Look up common interview questions online. Write down your answers. But don't just write them, practice saying them out loud. Record yourself answering the questions. Practice with a friend. By the time you get to the actual interview, you will have already activated all the necessary vocabulary and sentence structures. You will feel so much more relaxed and confident because you are prepared. The same goes for presentations, meetings, or even just making a phone call. A little bit of preparation can make a huge difference in your performance and your confidence. One of the big fears people have is getting stuck or not understanding someone. Remember this. Asking for clarification is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of a strong communicator. Confident speakers want to make sure they understand. It is perfectly okay to say things like, "I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. Could you repeat it, please? Could you speak a little more slowly, please? I'm not familiar with that word. What does it mean?" Native speakers use these phrases all the time. Using them shows that you are engaged in the conversation and that you care about understanding correctly. So, memorize these phrases and don't be afraid to use them. Finally, remember to be kind to yourself and celebrate your progress. You will have good days and you will have bad days. Some conversations will flow beautifully and others will feel like a struggle. This is normal for everyone, even native speakers. The important thing is to keep going. At the end of each week, take a moment to think about your progress. Did you have a successful conversation? Did you use a new phrase you learned? Did you understand a movie without subtitles? Acknowledge these wins. Your journey to confident speaking is a marathon, not a sprint. By appreciating how far you have come, you will find the motivation to keep moving forward. Conclusion. So there you have it. A complete guide to speaking English clearly and confidently. We started in the mind by embracing mistakes, focusing on communication, and learning to think in English. We moved to the physical by using our breath and warming up our mouths to speak with clarity and power. We learned about the music of English, mastering stress, rhythm, and intonation to sound natural and fluent. We talked about building an active vocabulary by learning chunks and using them in our daily lives. And finally, we brought it all together with practical habits and real-world strategies to turn your knowledge into true confidence. Remember, the secret is not about being perfect. It's about practice, patience, and a positive mindset. You already have everything you need to be a confident English speaker. You have your voice, you have your mind, and now you have the tools and techniques to unlock your potential. I hope you found this video helpful. My challenge for you today is to choose just one tip from this video and apply it. Just one. Maybe you'll spend 5 minutes doing tongue twisters. Maybe you'll try shadowing a podcast. Or maybe you'll go order a coffee in English. Whatever it is, take that first step. If this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe to English Bio Talk and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. And I have a question for you. Which one of these tips are you most excited to try first? Let me know in the comments below. I love reading your comments and hearing about your English learning journey. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Anna from English Bio Talk. Keep practicing, stay confident, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.